Hi, welcome to the midweek edition of 100% LCFC TV. Here again with Simon Mack, who's our chief writer. We've got a whole heap of things to discuss in this episode, Simon.
Yep.
We've got Chelsea to talk about,
Yep.
Shrewsbury, injuries, transfers, rumours, and we'll end up with a little bit of chatter about the big game on Sunday, which is Arsenal.
Indeed.
So
should we start with Chelsea then, shall we?
Yeah, let's start with that. It was a good away performance.
I thought it was. I thought it was a bit of a game of two halves, Phil. I thought in the first half we competed really well.
Yeah.
And I thought we were maybe a little bit unfortunate not to get a goal advantage going into the break. Nugent had a really decent chance to break the deadlock.
Just after half time, didn't he? He had a couple.
Yeah, one in the first, one in the second. Yeah. And it was just I guess when you play these big sides, you're going to get one or two chances, and you've got to take it. If you don't take it, I think,
it's 2-0 before you blink. I mean,
exactly.
Chelsea had plenty of chances. So the fact that I think we battled through to 60-something minutes and we're still in it, I think is great. So I think you have to take heart from that.
Yeah.
I don't think many of us really expected to get. Maybe a point would have been a dream. I don't think any more than that. But you say, when Nugent's clear through.
Yeah.
Look at the linesman. I don't really know what he's doing that for. I don't know what you think on that.
No, you just take the chance and you worry about that afterwards. But I mean, let's take the positives from it.
Yeah, totally.
And the positives were the performance.
Yeah.
And I think across the board, the consensus from the mass media, the Match of the Day and the Sky and all the rest of them was that we didn't embarrass ourselves in any way. We competed on a level playing field with them for quite a large proportion of the
I think
game.
Heads held high was the general consensus. Quite a few of the fans on Facebook, quite a lot of you lot out there, were giving Richie Delat some stick though. I don't know what you think on that.
Richie Delat.
Saying he's not good enough. He's been, not really at the races. I personally disagree, but that's what the fans, some of the fans, have been saying.
He had a bit of a torrid time against Everton in spells as well. In the first game of the season, he's not getting forward as much this season so far as he did in the Championship. But then he's obviously a lot more occupied. I mean, he had Eden Hazard to deal with on Saturday. We're not talking about any. They're
not Championship teams. No. It's not Doncaster and Yeovil like last year. It is champions of Europe from 2 years ago.
Yeah, and if you really want to pick the bones out of it, I saw a few people saying that, especially for the second goal, he was a little bit slow to react.
He was diving on the line, trying to keep it out.
Really. I mean, we absolutely. I mean, to a man, we absolutely worked our socks off. For 90 minutes. I mean,
for me, Saturday was heads held high.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury was not heads held high.
No.
I know you're saying you've seen interviews with Pearson today with Sky Sports saying that he's worried about Leicester being a little thin on the ground, and that's potentially why some of those members of the team were playing last night. But
his suggestion was that because we are carrying now 5 or 6 injuries within the squad, he didn't want to put out a very, very strong side last night and risk losing more players potentially for a game against Arsenal at the weekend. Well, and I think you can understand that point of view. And if you do look at the team that he put out, and just going through some of the first teamers that are in there, we had Knockout and Mahrez on the pitch. Obviously, Taylor Fletcher played up front.
He did quite well,
Yeah, he did play well, apparently. I mean, a lot of people were commenting that he was the only one that really did put a shift in last night. Yeah. Liam Moore played at centre-half. Konchesky played left-back. There was more than enough there to dispense a League Two side had they performed.
But again, a lot of the fans, we asked people on Facebook last night and this morning and on Twitter, what did they think? Are they bothered that we've been dumped out of the Cup? To be fair, I would say most of the fans were saying, not too bothered. No. Let's concentrate on the league.
No.
It's just the Cup. For me personally, I mean, I loved the League Cup finals back in the late 90s.
Exactly.
I think last year we wanted to concentrate on the league, but hey, it didn't do us any harm to have a good Cup run, beat good teams like Fulham last year. It shows that you're at the races and that you're winning. So for me, I'd try and win every game.
Yeah, and like you said before, with those great memories of the past, and it is a competition that potentially we could get to the latter stages of, had we invested in it. But it's sandwiched between a Chelsea and an Arsenal game.
Yeah, which are important.
We've got injuries at the moment we're carrying. As we know, as we've talked about in the past, and something I think last night highlighted a little bit, our squad is maybe a little bit thin in depth.
It appears to be so.
Yeah, below the surface level, what's underneath maybe isn't quite of the standard that we need. And I think Nigel's admitted that of late as well, and is saying openly now that we do need to strengthen. So I think maybe it's a little bit of a wake-up call all round that, we do need that strengthening behind the immediate first 11 to make sure we've got enough to carry us through the season, just in the league, cup aside.
I mean, we said on www.100lcfc.com yesterday, we ran a little report which said 6 days and counting, it's now 5 days and counting, transfer window shuts on Monday at 11 p.m. Leicester actually got promoted to the Premier League on April the 5th. Now, hey, I'm not calling Nigel Pearson, I'm not calling the club or anything, but we have known we're promoted for quite a while. And before that, the club were saying that they were preparing for the Premier League even before we were promoted. Well, it feels a little bit like last chance in the saloon at the moment. Rushing around. We're not going to get any bargains now.
No.
We're going to get penalised, I would guess. Because we're up against the clock on some transfers. And I think we'll all agree we probably do need some transfers bringing in.
Well, Nigel's saying it. I mean, and it's coming from the horse's mouth. He's saying we need to strengthen. We need numbers. We need to strengthen out what we've got, and no more so than in centre midfield, where we've lost our two leading centre midfielders. Hammond's obviously hobbled off as well at the weekend against Chelsea. And we're starting to look really thin on the ground in those positions.
And not even going to mention Cambiasso.
No, we'll stop talking about him because
we're all bored of it. You guys are bored of it. We're bored of it. We're only bringing you what's going on in the world of rumours and transfers. But even Pearson's come out and said he's still working on it. So it's still potentially there. It would be a big one.
Still there. And now we've got this James MacArthur from Wigan now that the...
Yeah, I've got today's Mercury, which basically is showing the Wigan chairman saying increase your offer or forget it.
So it was 5 million, I think, the rumoured first bid.
Yeah, 5 million.
And they're saying no, thank you. But like you say, they're now in the driving seat with any sort of deal because the clock's ticking.
Yeah.
So either we pay what they want, or
we don't get him.
The transfer window shuts, and So
I mean, you mentioned earlier today to me in the office that Troy Deeney looks like he's signing for Watford.
Yeah,
so
he's signing a new contract at Watford. Apparently, that's going to be done today.
No movement there. And for me, to make matters a little bit more disturbing, was you reading reports yesterday of Andy King being sniffed around by teams like QPR, Sunderland and West Brom. I mean, for me, Andy King, before in the pre-season, he had a good pre-season.
Yeah.
But maybe wasn't everybody's first choice midfielder with Drinkwater and James. He certainly would have been in and around there, maybe as a 3 or as a good reserve to come in. Yeah. Been at Leicester for a few years now.
Yeah.
Through the youth team.
He's a reliable performer. You know 9 times out of 10 what you're going to get from Andy King.
I mean, the rumours were $2.5 million to sell him.
Which is
just seems daft because if you could buy an Andy King for $2.5 million, we'd all be saying buy him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't see there's any legs in us selling any sort of centre midfielder at the moment. We need to bolster.
We need to add, don't we? Not really sell.
Yeah. And I mean, just looking at the rumours now, you have a look around what's going on Twitter and other places. There is a lot of activity at the moment, a lot of names that are being thrown into the hat, more than there has been all summer. So it's obvious that the club are now really increasing their activity and they're getting really, really into the latter stages of trying to drill down into some deals. But something's obviously going on that's hindering us from closing these deals out.
It looks like that. Yeah. I mean, again, another one I saw quite a lot of chatter on, not a lot of it in English, but it was Anderlecht sniffing around for Vasilevsky.
Yeah, again, yeah.
Again, he's not made the starting team as yet, but I think we'd all say he's going to play quite a big part at times this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's you would imagine his first pick after Moore and Morgan at the moment. If anyone got a knock or a suspension, it'd be Vasilevsky that would come straight in. So I can't see there's any legs in that at all.
But he is very, very well. He's revered at Anderlecht, isn't he? He's almost a god there. So I would think if an opportunity arose for him to go back there, he'd be looking at it maybe.
Yeah.
But let's hope they're just rumours.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I mean, it's only my opinion, but I can't see anybody going out the door at the moment. We need bodies in. We do not need anybody out. And I mean, to lose Vasilevsky now would be such a... Unless we had 1 or 2 centre halves that were coming in the other way that Pearson felt would improve the squad, I really can't see it.
Upson's injured for a little while, isn't he?
3 months, needs an operation, so that leaves us even thinner. We let you go in the summer, so I mean, we really are.
And I think that comes back to what we're saying about the Shrewsbury game. The depth and sort of quality of that depth possibly does need bolstering quite a lot.
Highlight. I think that's, if you're going to get something out of the game last night, if anything, it is the fact that we do need depth. We need more depth.
Yeah.
Because what we were left with last night was obviously not enough to get the job done.
I did have one fan say something interesting to me earlier today. They came on and they said, I wonder if that was just what Nigel needs to go to the board and say, I want these players, give me the money, else we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a thought. It's just a thought for you guys to maybe comment on and let us know your thoughts. Anyway,
interesting perspective.
Chelsea, let's take heart from that. Let's forget Shrewsbury.
Most definitely.
We don't care about the cup. We're going to concentrate on the league. We might as well use that line.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. It's a shame. It's a shame that we get knocked out by a team like Shrewsbury. Okay, it's sandwiched between two really big games, and we have got injuries, so I fully understand why Nigel did what he did last night. But having said that, when you look at the personnel on the pitch yesterday, they should have got a result, and I think even Nigel would admit that.
I agree, but I'm going to cheer you up because we're going to talk about Arsenal now.
Let's move
so we're
on.
going to forget all that, and we're going to look forward to Arsenal. Again, one of the biggest games of the season, one of the top 4 teams. Everybody loves to play the Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's no longer the boring Arsenal that we perhaps remember from 20 years ago, where it'd be a 1-0 and the back forward walk forward every time the ball went forward and catch you offside. It's going to be an exciting Arsenal.
It's going to be an exciting Arsenal. The big news that I picked up over the last 24 hours is that Giroud is now injured, and he's injured now for apparently until at least next year. So.
All right, so he probably won't be playing.
He's not going to be playing.
He's not.
He's gone. So. I mean, what you make of that is what you make of it. I know Wenger now is very much reported to be looking for an emergency replacement as quickly as he can to get him before the window shuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they've got Sanchez. They just signed, in the summer. Then
it's not too shabby.
So they might lose one, but it's not as if it's
Ozil last summer for 40 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's a bit like the Chelsea game where they're full of stars. I don't know what, if you add up the Arsenal starting lineup, it's going to be out there. The Chelsea one was 185 million against Leicester's 11 million. So it's going to be another David against Goliath.
Yeah.
I quite fancy us against Arsenal. I know we just lost last night against League Two team. I always fancy us at home.
Yeah.
I think we've got a chance.
I think we've always got a chance, and I think the thing that comes, going back to the Chelsea game a little bit, is that we went there. We didn't look overawed. We didn't look like a team that was going to be second best. We were very positive. We didn't give them any respect. We didn't stand off them. We gave them a game.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that we need to take from that. And if they can carry that into the Arsenal game and go at that with the same attitude, obviously with a little bit more confidence in the fact that we're at home, then there's no reason why we can't get something out of the game.
No.
But obviously,
I agree.
There are going to be spells, Phil, where we're going to be under the pump.
Well, like we were at home against Everton.
Exactly.
I think we've got to keep battling again, like we did at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Get to that 60, 70 minute mark and be in the game is I think we'd all take that. And then the last 20, 30 minutes, you've got a chance to get something out of it.
There's a little bit of a worry for me personally that creeps in if we keep playing like that, but we keep getting nothing. Then you start to worry, because if you can't repeat that. No. It's far better to play ugly and get a point. But for the time being, I don't think there's any need to worry about that. No. I think we just need to keep being our positive selves and go at these teams with an honest approach and show them no respect and give them a decent game of football and see what we can get out of it. I
agree, and I know it's early in the season, but I think there's teams out there already I can see in the Premier League who look far worse than us.
Yeah. Oh, for
sure. I don't want to slate Burnley, even QPR.
Yeah.
But
Palace.
Palace looking a mess.
They've just named Neil Warnock as their manager.
Unlucky for them. Bless. Can I say that? Neil Warnock gone to Palace.
He's just gone to Palace.
Goodness me. We nearly had him at Leicester a couple of times over the past few years. He is a good manager.
I don't know about you, but if I was a Palace fan, that wouldn't fill me with confidence.
Well, he's obviously not. I wouldn't say he would be their first choice manager.
No, I think it was, as I understand it, between Steve Clarke, who was at West Brom not so long ago, and Warnock, and I think Clarke pulled out in the end, so Warnock got the gig. But I think they're probably going to struggle a little bit. I mean, so you're right. I think there's teams
worse than Leicester.
Yes.
Which is a great thought.
Yes.
I actually think Leicester, if I'm trying to, it's only two odd games in. And I thought we played well, so I'm still full of positiveness.
And I think the general consensus from the media at large is that they've been very impressed with the way that we've played, we've performed. I think we've played in a very expansive, positive way, and I think that's got us a lot of credit over the last few weeks, in that we're going at it with a good, positive approach. And I think at the moment that's definitely the right way to go about it.
And good news I hear from you today that you're saying that both Vardy and Albrighton were training today.
Were
I know Albrighton came on.
Yeah.
But Vardy could be an outside chance for, I would say, maybe the subs bench on Sunday.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to get him back involved again? I mean, I think he's such a figurehead for us. Last season, he was such an important right from the...
Leads from the front. We've said that before. He leads from the front. He chases around, sets the space, sets the tone for everybody else to follow.
He does. He sets the tempo and the tone, and he gets the crowd up for it. And I think he's such an important player for us. Just in that way, goals aside, that it would just be great to have him on the pitch again and involved in some way, even if, like you say, it's from the bench and for 20 minutes. You know, it'd be nice to see the back of this niggling injury and to get him on the pitch. A couple of things I wanted to mention about.
Go for it.
I mean, just thinking about Arsenal. They went 2 down against Everton last weekend.
They did. And Everton switched off at the end.
Yeah, and they did manage to battle back. But it showed, I mean, to me, that showed that they're not infallible.
No, well, again, we played Everton the week before. I was watching that thinking, well, it's maybe we are even better than we're thinking. But then, Arsenal, it just shows you when Everton did switch off at the end and they sneaked back in to get the draw.
Mertesacker, the Arsenal centre-half, he's got no pace at all.
No.
You know? I mean, if players like Vardy and the like can get
get at them.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't like it up them.
I think we've got some players, Mahrez, if he's cutting in and things, that can genuinely scare the Arsenal back four.
Yeah.
And so I think there's definite positivity there for a decent outcome this weekend.
I think if the atmosphere can be anywhere near it was at the Everton one, lots of fans have talked about that, and not just Leicester fans. A lot, like I say, the Everton fans were tweeting about it and saying that the King Power. God, I keep calling it the Walkers.
Easy to do.
The King Power really was rocky, and it did. They said it really helped. So again, fans get behind the team when you're in there, even if we are losing. If it's close, keep the patience and.
I mean, just one other thing to chuck into the mix about Arsenal. They're playing in the Champions League this week.
Yes.
They've got to qualify to play.
Yeah. So which they'll be concentrating on. They'll probably be putting their A team out in that, and then.
They didn't get anything out of the away leg.
No, so it's a tough one this week.
So they've got to get something out of the home leg, and of course for them financially,
it's worth lots.
It's enormous.
Yeah.
So that's maybe taking their eye a little bit off the Leicester ball.
Yeah.
A little bit as well. So that could stand in our favour a little bit as well. So. There's a few chinks of light for me in playing Arsenal this weekend. I don't think it's a bad time to play them. No, I think it could be a good time to get in there. Let's come on to score predictions. Okay.
For me, I'm going to go for... I think it's going to be 1-1 with about 15 minutes to go, and Vardy's going to come on and score the winner. But I need to predict who's going to be the first scorer.
You do.
So I've got the last scorer, that's Vardy. I'm going to go for the first scorer being Mahrez. I pick him every week, but he's going to do it one week if I keep going. So I'm going to go City to win, Mahrez to score first, Vardy to score second, King Power to go mental. Over to you.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, and Mahrez,
come to my dream world.
Mahrez has been threatening to score. I mean, he had a couple of good shots at Stamford Bridge the other day. He's looking like he might score. He's on the verge. I'm going to go with a draw again. I'm going to go, I think, with a 1-1 draw this time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to suggest that, unfortunately, they're going to score first, not us. So I would say maybe Ramsey. I would say Ramsey maybe get their goal.
If I was a betting man, I think that's well worth a bet.
And we'll come back maybe later on in the second half. We'll battle back for an honourable draw. And I think if we do get that, and I hope we do get that, I think we should be very happy with that. And,
totally.
And move on from there. A performance and a draw for me would send me home very happy indeed.
Well, we said these first 5 games where the points are going to come from.
Yeah.
Point against Everton, it's good. Point or something against Arsenal will be good.
Yeah.
Stoke away, we'll be hoping for some points.
Yeah.
Man U at home, that's 3 in the bag. So it could be all right after the first 5 games.
Yeah, and I mean, I really genuinely do hope we get something out of this Arsenal game. Because if we don't, it puts that little bit more pressure on the Stoke game as well. Because it's like, we've only got one.
Get something. Yeah.
We more like we start to need to get something.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be putting ourselves in that position this early on. So let's hope we can generally put in a good performance and get at least a point out of the game, and take that on to a more winnable game against Stoke.
Yeah.
Next up.
Totally. So it's been a really busy week here at 100% LCFC. We've had the Chelsea game, we've had the Shrewsbury game, we've got loads of transfers and rumours going on that we'll keep telling you about, and we've got Arsenal on Sunday.
We have.
So lots to look forward to. Do make sure you keep sending us your comments, your tweets. We'll keep including you into the programmes and on all things 100% LCFC. So from myself, Phil, and from Simon, cheerio. See you next time.